I'm bones, bro. It ain't muscles, bone. Look at that. Bone. Gruff. Bone. About to flex and probably just. Mm. Look like a bug or something. Bug. Yeah, Taurus with some broken horns. I shaved this all down. It came right back. Let's see. If I raise this up a bit. See, now me and this camera. Alright, well, it's about where my eyebrows meet. But I just think how tall I am because of that. Look at this. So everything for about right here, I guess. I'm just doing average. So everything for about where my eyebrows meet is how tall the camera is. But anything above that is how tall I am. So the camera roughly meets about 6 feet, over 6 feet, roughly over 6'5". We're not gonna get into the full dimensions. We're not, doing a gauge or anything. But this is my selfie staff. It's not a tripod or a stick, it's a staff. It's a selfie staff. It's for journey walking, like walking up a mountain or something. I clean up nice, so being all rough and scraggly, just comfortable. It gives me somewhere to take a leap from. You know, because I can go from this to something else versus being somewhere else and not having anything to jump from. My hair, for informations and processes, I did not intend for my hair to lock up. I had a curly fro. I had a curly fro, and I slept on the floor with no covering on my head. And every time I woke up, my hair was matted in some type of way. So I take a shower and shake it out. And one day I shook it out, and a piece of hair came down, and it was locked up. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I took all of my hair and I turned them to twists. I wore the twist for a while, and then my hair was irritated, so I took the twist down, rinsed it out, and shook it out, and voila, I had these. They were uneven, thin in some places, thick in others. I have a full head of, I guess you say dreadlocks, but They all naturally formed. They still naturally formed. The only thing that I've done, I have not interlocked them. The only thing that I've done is twist them. That's why this one is adamant on being the way it is. You see, loosely naturally formed locks, no interlocking. All I did was twist them up, let them stay twisted, untwisted them, hit them with some water, some conditioner, wash them every so often, hit them with some water a couple times out the week, keep it covered when I go to sleep, and boom, right there. That's where I'm at. It's like I'm instinctually being drawn to being this hairstyle. This one look like a little bit loose, like it's gonna come off. I'm gonna have to twist it into itself. I guess my hair is used to this because, I mean, at several points in my journey, I've had my hair like this. It was professionally done a couple of times, and now this. It instinctually grew back into this by itself. I didn't have anybody playing my hair this time around. I would have, but I didn't ask anybody for any help. I took the liberty of doing my own hair and trying to figure out how that looks for me. And here we are. I look like a ragamuffin. You know, I like it. You know, a lot of what you see is just groups and masses of little individual strays that are too small to not turn into these fused together. What they call them, Congos. I got a few of those, and I got something like this. This one got thick on the end, thin on the middle. So I just took some new growth and twisted it around. But every so often it pops out and starts spazzing and trying to separate from itself, like an incomplete fusion. Cause it's really thin, like from like down here on down to the hair, the roots to the head. It's thin. So you gotta fuse it with something else for it to survive. And the new growth didn't matter. It actually helped the new growth grow to where it's at. The new growth was a patch at first. Now it's like you can see it. But just Chico 2 update. I did it in this form factor instead of wide angle because it's vlog, bro. Mobile vlog. For those of you wondering, yes, what you see is what you see. My eating habits have become like this. I went down a rabbit hole. My eating habits are kind of sparse. I carry 2 different diets on my shoulders. I carry the alkaline, vegan, Dr. Sebi, vegetarian diet over here. And then over here, I carry the eat right for your blood type diet and whatever experimental remedies that come with different diets assumed. So like for instance, if a diet has a benefit, I'm gonna test it out on my body. And if the benefit proves that it works, I'll keep it. If it doesn't prove that it works, I'll let it go. And that's what this side is. And aptly named, this is my misery side. So what induced my weight loss? I want to say half of it was my metabolism spiking from the mixture of adding the blood type diet and fasting. 'Cause I never let fasting go. And a lot of it was me cutting out foods that promote metabolism stunting and fat accumulation. I refuse to allow fats to reform in my body, and so due to that, I'm rocking this slender, slim build. It's cool, you know, it's whatever. I like it. I haven't had so much pure joy in looking at myself in the mirror in some time. It's not like the slim version of me when I was just straight vegan, because after a while, like with the veganism, on the veganism side is the fruitarian, the breatharian and the liquids and stuff like that. That's all over there too. Over here is strictly just the blood type diet and experimental food hacks. And so on this side, if I'm jumping on this side, it's gonna lower my vibration down. Like I'm gonna go from like a rough positive elevation to a slow descent back down to the ground with everybody else. And if I go too far on this side, I'm gonna elevate so far high that I'm gonna look like a douche, a complete and utter douche, like a waste of space, waste of food, a burden. Because it's not easy being on both these sides because I know what can happen. Like I know, like with my face and stuff, I know if I eat too much of the bad foods, or if I eat too much of the foods that accumulate excess decomposition inside of my body, my outer parts of my body are going to start to lose efficient energy and regulation, and I'm gonna start to show like disparities all over. And if I'm on this side too much, I tend to become a bit airy, like an airhead. Like I'm just floating around, like not slow, but more so just like extremely out of sync with the things around me. Like it's not a positive if you are an important factor in like keeping things afloat. Now, if you don't have a hat in the race of keeping things together, it doesn't matter if you become super airy. That's why you got to keep a balance. I got to keep a balance. Also, being in this state of life while I'm balancing these two things, at any given point in time, I can pop out of sync of everybody else. Like, usually when you consume stuff with people, there's a unity. And when you fast, there's usually a unity because as a group you should all be fasting, or as a group you should all be eating the same things. If my body says nah, bro, don't do it, I ain't gonna do it. If my body says yeah, bro, do it, I'm gonna do it. So if everybody ate like some macaroni and cheese and some mashed potatoes and some turkey, I'm going to not eat on that day. Like my body's gonna be like, nah, not today. So now I'm the odd dude out. Like I'm like if it's a colony of ants, I would be like that one rogue creature, and it's just like, do we attack it? Do we attack it? No. He look familiar, but he ain't with us. I don't think he with us. Like I don't think he on that with us. Like it'd be one of those you don't belong type of situation, but you look like you belong. So that's what like not eating the same thing as everybody else will do to you. It'll make you stand out. Sometimes it's for the better. Sometimes you'll stand out. People be like, he ain't gotta eat what we eating. He cool as he is. There's something about him that, he's just good. Or it'd be like, this motherfucker. Like, for instance, if you eat like some real obtuse stuff, you might just like start to get like the wrong looks from even animals. And that's a real biggie. Like, you don't want to be walking around giving the wrong feeling off to animals and children, because you walking around and you give off the energy that you a monster. Monsters get attacked. You walking around with the energy like you God, you get praised, you get admiration, you get accolades, you get looks. Monsters don't get accolades, admiration, or looks. You walking around here like all you eat is meat and iron. Yeah, eventually people gonna look at you and be scared or think you a threat. And if you walking around here eating nothing but air and goddamn magic, people gonna be like, wow, an angel or something, So it's all about what you do and what you eat. If you don't understand where I'm coming from, or I sound like I'm just talking nonsense, it's understandable. But I guarantee you, if all you eat is hot dogs and burgers, and everybody around you eat glizzies, hot dogs, and burgers, then essentially, y'all all gonna think the same. But if you start eating fruit while everybody's still eating glizzies, hot dogs, and burgers, and you just decide to eat all and nothing but fruit, you gonna get targeted as being an outsider. And if you don't make that a whole unity thing and nobody wants to join you, you become by yourself until you find the people that's like you. There are a bunch of people walking around eating nothing but fruit. They all band together, or they stay apart. they support each other, or they judge each other. I might be only eating melons. I might just be like, oh, I'm all melon. I'm the melon man. Watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, centermelon. It's a lot of melons. Cassava, not cassava. It's a lot of different melons. Don't look at me like that. Or I might just be the exotic fruit guy. Well, I'm always eating some tropical fruit, some durian, some pote, some jackfruit, some breadfruit, tremoya, dragon fruit, prickly pear. Or I might just be the dude that's always eating apples and oranges and pears and apples, oranges, and pears and grapes. I might be the guy that's eating the fruit of the loom. Or I might just be the berry guy. All berries, bananas, strawberries, raspberries, boysenberries, blueberries, you know what I'm saying, blackberries. Or I might be the guy that's always eating stone fruit, like peaches, plums, cherries, apricots. Pears are stone fruit too, they just don't have a pit. Almonds, almonds are stone fruit. Well, they're the pit of a fruit, but so, walnuts are fruit. They're the pit of a fruit. But all I'm saying to you is, throughout that entire peaceful journey of trying different foods, I got to the point where I started telling all of my business. I was posting videos, making songs, creating like meal plans and testing recipes. I didn't record every recipe. Now this is where I messed up at, because I was focused on eating and like testing and seeing how my body felt versus recording. So I didn't record everything from the blood type that I cooked. I documented. It's documentation. This is a paper trail. My receipts, places I shopped for the stuff. I got all my receipts and everything. But in order to bring to light the validity and the experiment, I would have to experience everything a second time. And I could do differently this time, but I feel kind of split between the decision of going back and doing the experiment again and recording every single step of the experiment now that I know what to do, versus like when I first did it and like I had a lot of different experiences I wasn't prepared for. Like, it'll be cool now. Like, I could probably do it now and then give people the knowledge that I know now. But it's like, that's a journey in itself, because right now I'm balancing both. Like, I'm balancing both because both of them, if you don't do the research, could be very dangerous. There's certain things, like the way I look right now. There are some people who have never looked like the way I looked ever in their life, and they might fall in love with the way that they look, even if it's not a manageable thing, and they may not be, they may not become mentally capable of acknowledging that they may need to try to find a way to put themselves in a different place. Like, all right, now that you're that small, what you may need to do is eat more in a day. Your metabolism might have shot so skyrocketed high that you may need to eat more in a day. Or you might have to sacrifice the love of the way you look to maintain some stores of fat deposits. But see, that's a decision you gotta make. It's a decision you gotta make, and it takes a lot of strength to coax yourself into a different direction in life. Like, I went from damn near 300 pounds to 200 to lower 200s, like 200, I was like 250. It's 250 to lower 200. So I'm beneath 250 and above 180. I'm between 180 and 250 now, probably somewhere around that. And because of that, you know, I get to the point where it's like, ah, do I want to gain more muscle, or do I need more fat, or But it's like at the same time, while making these decisions, it doesn't matter what I eat because my metabolism is just like, I got the metabolism of a race car. Whereas regular, I used to take regular unleaded. Now regular unleaded, I burn through that in a day. But then it's like, do I want to go down the path of increasing my fat stores by destroying my metabolism? But see, I have defense mechanisms against that. I created defense mechanisms by accident that keep me where I'm at right now. Defense mechanisms. I don't want to be thrown into the cataclysm of becoming extremely obese, because that was most of my life, being obese. Even if it means like having a shockingly incomprehensible amount of energy, or whether it means going back to having insomnia, because I don't have insomnia anymore. I do not have insomnia whatsoever. Not at all. When they say, how can you sleep at night knowing this, that, and the third? I don't have insomnia anymore. I even drank coffee for a while, testing out coffee, because it was this thing, it's on this side, it was this thing where they said coffee creates a atmosphere in the stomach that forms ulcers and can lead to stomach cancer if you drink too much of it. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, stomach cancer, ulcers, let's see what happens. So I started drinking coffee. One of the caveats of drinking coffee or having too much coffee in your system is that it saps and leaches your body of iron, which will in turn cause you to become anemic. And the caffeine will deregulate your mentality so that you don't know if and when you're tired, and it will throw your circadian rhythm off. So having a proper sleeping process would be almost impossible if you consume coffee too much. Not only that, it's addictive. Whether you have something sweet in there or not, it is an addictive substance. It's a neurostimulant, and that puts it on par with similar addictions like cannabis and probably cocaine or sugar. Those four guys, their highest level of addiction, with multiple levels of leave me alone. I'm gonna continue doing this. But I tested out coffee. I was able to hop off. If you want my advice about that, if you are a typical person, Colombian coffee is like, I would say, cocaine and or weed, and I would say Honduran coffee is like CBD. I don't know what the offshoot of decaf cocaine is, but if you wanted to slowly get yourself off of coffee, I would suggest trying Colombian and then forcing yourself to only drink Honduran until you get tired of drinking coffee. Because Honduran is more like a chill. It's like laid back coffee. It don't give you no energy. It doesn't stimulate your brain. It just chills you out. It's like that. It's that good chill brew. But after a while of that chill brew and no Colombian stimulation, after a while you just be like, I don't need coffee, and you're done. So if you want to kick coffee because you got a strong coffee addiction and you want to get off of it but you don't know how, switch over to Honduran coffee. I ain't talking about decaf, but decaf if you want to, that's how you want to get off of it. But CBD is usually how people start to quit cannabis. But if you really want to quit coffee, I would suggest getting you some Honduran beans, grinding the beans up yourself. And for those of you that might be like, I don't have a bean grinder. Do you have a blender? You don't have a blender? Do you have a mortar and mortar and the tool to smash it in? Just grind it yourself. Hell, Get you a cheap blender. Use it only for grinding beans. Throw them beans in there. Blend them up into a nice powder. You know, you can store it in the refrigerator. Also, I suggest when you're making coffee to mix it with cacao powder. So whatever coffee you pre-make for yourself, do, you know, for every part coffee, do 1 part cacao mix, and it has to be cacao. It could be cocoa, but I suggest cacao because cocoa is highly processed, and it'll work too. It has alkalis in it to help alkalize with the concoction. It also helps prevent the stomach ulcer problem, because if you alkalize the coffee, it'll be less acidic, and your stomach won't fluctuate in acidity. The pH level of your stomach acid won't fluctuate too much. A lot of information that I didn't say nothing about before, but I don't mind sharing it now. Yeah, I'm just talking, yapping. That's it for this one.